Hello and welcome back. I'm your host with the most, TheChronicToast, and today we're diving right back into BeamNG.drive. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, this is a soft body physics simulator focusing around cars and how they interact with the environment. So, what that means, basically rims, body panels, frames, they can all flex, be permanently deformed, be destroyed, all that fun stuff. It's a really, really fun game. But today in particular, we're going to continue on with the Scenarios series, where we take a look here at play some of the particular scenarios that are in the game. Now, previously we've gone through and we've tackled Crawl Around the Bend and Crawl Dried Up Riverbed. And what we're going to tackle today is Crawl Leap of Faith. Now, as the description states, this is a really challenging crawling track. Down and up the cliffs, finishing with a courageous leap onto a rock pillar. The difficulty is very hard. The author is BeamMG, and the creation is December 18th, 2019, here on the map, Utah, USA. Now, after this, we'll dive into some of the older scenarios, but for today in particular, I figured I'd like to finish up the first of the first of the three of the new three scenarios that came out from BeamNG in recent weeks. So let's go get stuck in, let's try it out, and let's see what happens. Oh man, that actually looks like a lot of fun. I haven't driven one of the big rigs with the actual trailers on it, and some that would be an absolute blast. Now, this game is so much fun. You can reconfigure all the vehicles. You can really mess around with all of the different wheels, tires, drivetrain, engine combinations. You can have your vehicles with doors, no doors. There's analogs for most as well as older vehicles. And the modding community is huge for this. If you go over onto BeamNG's actual website, there is so many things over there for maps and mods. It is always a scenario. All right, well, let's go and dive on in and see if we can't get to the end of this track. Now, I'm not going to try to go out of my way to beat this on time right off the bat. I just want to try to finish the track, get a feel for it, kind of see where things go. And then once we finish it, hopefully we can then try to do a time attack. And that might not go very well, but we'll see. Now, again, I'm hoping that the engine will help with this, slow this down, but it looks like we're going to have to rely on the brakes a little bit as well. And unfortunately, every time we stab the brake, we're just going to want to completely go rear end over front end and down the hill, which means you might need to stab that throttle a few times, like right there. But that gets you into a real hairy seesaw back and forth scenario. So we got to have some very careful usage of the throttle and the brake when it comes to these sorts of things. Now, of course, I don't want to slam the throttle too much because then we can actually over rev the engine and do damage to piston rings and all sorts of stuff, which is always nasty and not very good. At the end of the day, that means your engine doesn't work. Oh, and pretty sure we just damaged something in the suspension right there. But again, we're just having a lot of fun, and I gotta say, talking and driving is a lot more work and more difficult than it definitely appears, and it's just more difficult, man, to have your thoughts when you're trying to think about technical aspects of whether you want to get your wheels here, your throttle usage there, and it begs the question: how do people drive and chat when there's other people in the car? Well, usually those environments aren't quite as technical, hopefully, but let's see if we can't get going. Looks like we're down near the bottom, and we're gonna have to be going all the way back up. So we're gonna swing wide, and then we're gonna work our way all the way back up here. Ooh, okay. So the question is, will we have enough traction? Now, for these scenarios, you can't mess with tire pressures and stuff like you can in the normal game. Normally, I would actually run a little bit lower tire pressure to get a bit more traction, which is modeled successfully in the game here. And of course, we don't want to go too much because we're just not going to be able to get up this. Maybe we can get some traction here on the rocks without flipping. I don't want to go side to side too much. Get some upward momentum. It looks like, of course, the brakes are locked, and of course, we're sliding. So, can we actually load it up and start crawling a little bit upwards? Looks like there's just too much slippery stone here. Can we hammer it? That might get us going a little bit. We don't want to get too happy though, because then we're just going to Billy Goat scruff our way all the way up. Oh, that's not good. But we managed to save it for the most part. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to get a much more of a running start and try to get up this. I don't think too much is damaged here. And we will see how this works. So I want to get up over this bit right here. and then we can get we can goose it a little bit and try to climb. Now I don't want to, again, I don't want to get too much traction on the rear tires compared to the front, because then the front's going to lift up and then we're just going to go tumbling back down the cliff. There we go. Nice. So nice, easy throttle manipulation without over revs. Hopefully we can get up here to the top of this cliff. And there we go. All right, nice. Whew, we made it. Bump it back down to gear 1 and start crawling our way back through. Picking our way through this rock garden a little bit here without too much pain, hopefully. Because we've already beat the snot out of these front steering knuckles, just with some of the hits that we've taken already. Try to just rely on friction and engine torque as we just flex our way all over the place. Three-wheeling, as they say for stadium super trucks, is a good feeling, but when you're rock crawling, that is not true at all. Oh man, what do we do? I think I'm going to try to crawl over this carefully and work my way through. We could have gone up to the left, but there's a chance we could roll. Now we could try to straddle this, but I think we'll be okay. I don't think we'll be too poorly caught out if we get all crossed up here. Okay. Work our way down this. This doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. Just slam it right down onto the rock sliders there. And we're coming up here to a flat section. I wonder if this is where the leap is. My guess is this is probably it. I'm trying to remember how this track goes. I see a bunch of warning signs over there, so survey says this is probably where we're going to have to go. Let's kick this back down to first gear. Oh man. I just got goosebumps. This is not something I would normally want to drive out on. Walk out on maybe. Oh man. I'm pretty sure we do have damage up here on the front left. This doesn't look superbly great or grand. Oh man. I'm trying to see. Yeah, Oop, there goes a cone. That's great. Is it down there somewhere? There it is. Looks like we're definitely gonna have to jump, and this is all cattywampus to one side as well. We'll stick this in neutral so we don't. We'll stick it in park so we don't actually go anywhere. Man, look at this view. This would be a super good photo opportunity. Nice, 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 nice. Well, we can't get too much of a running jump because we're going to be stuck. We're going to have to turn. Let's see what we can do. The goal is to get there. I don't know if we have to stop. So we'll hit those parking brakes and we'll stick it back in reverse gear. Let the engine slowly take us back a little bit. Because we're going to need to get an angle on this, is my guess. I don't want to go off too far. It's just good enough right there. Now let's see if we can't get this. We're going to not really rev it up and throttle into it. We're just going to put it right into gear with the brakes loaded up, give it a little bit of gas, and let's go for it. Slam the brakes, throw it into park. Hey, I think we made it. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Cool. Gold. We won. Look at that. We actually made the jump. Fantastic. 6 minutes, 39 seconds just for kind of exploring it around. That's pretty decent. Pretty decent. Pretty darn decent are the phrasing that I was looking for. But you know what? Let's go hit that retry. Let's try to be a little bit quicker about this. This is where the chaos happens and the crunching flexibility of the BeamNG.drive system is going to be apparent because we are going to get all twisted up. I guarantee you we are going to mess this up somewhere, somehow, some way. So let's try to get going. We're just going to slam off the rev limiters. Not too worried about all this jazz. We can, if we need to, always get another vehicle. And just right off the bat, it has already gone horribly wrong. But the vehicle still runs. So we will kick it over. Get this sucker, spin around. Just slam through everything. And let's get going. Oh, man. We could also try to do this in first person if there is interest in that. doing these challenges in that particular viewpoint, post it in the comment section below, and we can definitely try it. Some mods that have different crawler vehicles, I haven't looked for this one in particular, they have different viewpoints and different cameras allowed to basically simulate you giving a spotter or you looking around. And it's pretty cool when that actually works, because it's basically similar to rock crawling with a buddy to help you spot where the wheels go, and you can actually lean out the window and all that stuff, and it works out well. Now we are just pounding through this particular portion, and this vehicle is taking it like a champ. We might get crossed up here in the rock garden. Oh, we are hung up on the front suspension. That's not super great. So we'll try to just get a different line here and just slam through. Parts are not cheap, but they can be replaced. Let's see what brute force can really just do for us. There's always a chance that we will just get completely wrecked. But hey, that's half the fun with BeamNG.drive. Oh man, we are already up here as it is. Alright, let's see what we got going on. Maybe we can do this in one big giant go. Fingers crossed. We don't need to go too fast. Here we go. Let's try to make it through the actual jump. And we did it. And we went off the side. So you'll hit that free roam button and see kind of where we're going down here once the game lets us do that. Oh boy. Down we go. Smash, bang, boom, pow. Firepower. There goes a wheel. Right rear axle's broken. The vehicle still wants to move though. The radiator is completely snookered. Oh man, there we go, driving over our own tire. Well, there you have it. What does the interior look like? That's not super great. And the roof is smashed down on the driver's compartment. But you know what? Oh man, that's not great. Tell you what, let's try it again. This is no timer this time. This is just us driving around, having fun. And let's try it from the first person view. Let's see how far we get. Probably not super far is my guess. What's hard to tell from this view is just how steep this is. And it's a different perspective on trying to understand what your vehicle is doing. And things move around quite a bit. It gives much more of appreciation in my mind to the people that try to do this from the driver's seat, looking over and down with spotters maybe leaning out the windows, to give you a better understanding of just what they go through and some of the additional challenges they have. Now, as far as gear ratio goes, let's see, can we actually see drive? So we're down here. What does that actually correspond to? That's the question. So M3 is all the way down. So these ones don't necessarily work very well, but we can see that right there is M1. Look behind us at the actual engine. And yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. So M1, M2, M3, all the way back up to M1. So if we need to, we can look down at that. And if we had VR, we could just look down without all the crazy shenanigans and shindigs going on from the camera jerking around. Now again, we are just free roaming the exact same trail that we did before. And just to see kind of how it works, put this back into first gear. And let's see if we can't climb up this without going backwards, front end over rear end. It's hard to see sometimes just where the vehicle is. I would love to have a tilt indicator. You can see that we're just pounding off the rev limiter there on the actual dash, which isn't super good for the engine, but it's a digital vehicle, so we can treat it as rough as we like without feeling too bad about it. So here we go, just pounding up through here with big tires. Now trying to do this with a stock vehicle is definitely possible. I guarantee that. Go and get like a gravel roamer or some other stock 4x4 or SUV. Oh man, we made it. Okay. But one of the things to keep in mind is that you can't just pound through this. You have to be a lot more technical. And so that's something that we could do if we had to. All right, so let's go and goose it. Let's just pound that throttle. Let's see what we can do to get over here. Maybe we can get lucky and just kind of stop our way up here. And we made it. Nice. Let's get back here, put it in park. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So we have done it nice and slow. We've done it nice and fast on a time attack trial. And we've done it in first person with no concern one way or the other. Now, the last thing that we need to do is, of course, to throw the vehicle off the cliff. Oh, yeah. All the damage, all the smashing. And there we have it. Back on the wheels, ready to climb another trail again. Man, let's stop that engine right there. Oh, look at that. All twisted up. But as always, thank you much for hanging out with me on another crazy journey and adventure through BeamNG.drive. And if you like this series, please make sure that you comment and like that button, and let me know. And we'll be making sure that we do a lot more of these. So thank you very much. I've had a lot of fun. I really love this game, and yeah, we'll see if we can't do some more of these. So as always, thank you much, and I'll catch you next time.